Good morning and happy hump day, everybody. So, full disclosure, my low is I'm pretty much going to be talking about my low this entire video. So I'm going to get to my high and my act of kindness first. My high is the fact that I saw my family, and I saw my nephews yesterday. Got to play with my nephews for a little bit. And it's actually kind of funny, too, because I'm playing that one game with one of my nephews where I stay completely idle. He's walking ever so close to me. And I'm like, wow, and then it scares him away. You should see him jump. It's great. I love that. And my act of kindness was I emptied the dehumidifier for my old man, and I took out the garbage. Because today's going to be garbage day. Garbage day is a very dangerous day. It can be, if you're not prepared anyway. Anyway, so, what is Milo? Well, remember how a couple of days ago where I talked about how by the end of the month of July, One Piece will have animated Gear 5th? Yeah. That episode's been postponed until the end of the month. There will be no new episode of One Piece this week. So quite literally all the hype I've been feeling has now been dashed out the window. And I just don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel about this. I mean, on the one hand, if they actually use this extra time to try and make this episode really, really, really good, I can see that. Because the more I think it over, the more I think to myself, okay, all of chapter 1043 will be all of episode 1070. I keep saying 100, I mean to say 1,000. So, episode 1070, and it's easier to say actually. So, episode 1070, and I just realized I'm not in range. That's a little better. So, One Piece will not air episode 1070 this Saturday. It'll be next Saturday. So there's no new episode this week. And I just said how I don't know how I feel about this. Now, the anime really has been showing no signs of getting really good. Especially in terms of both the animation and the fight scenes. And the fight sequences. And the animation involving the fight sequences. So to say that this is a great time to be a fan of One Piece, especially if you're watching the anime, like, I really do mean that. Seriously, between the Wano arc reaching its climax in the anime and post-Wano in the manga being in the final saga, there could not possibly be a better time to be a One Piece fan than right now. I mean, come on, it's only 1,087 chapters you would have to read to catch up. I know some avid readers who'd probably get to that in a month. There's one in particular I do know who... my friend would probably take that challenge and be like, okay, hold my wine. It's a girl, by the way. I said, I presume that she would drink wine as she's reading, so she'd be like, hold my wine, and then she'd start reading. I presume that's what would happen. Yeah, I think so. Let's go with that. So, my point is, waiting for Gear 5th to be animated, technically I can wait for. I say technically because at the end of the day, hearing the news about it being postponed yesterday is not the end of the world. I mean, if it really was the end of the world, this video would not be happening right now. Pretty obvious. I mean, it is a saying that the world's going to keep on spinning. It is. It's going to keep on spinning until, I mean, I could tell you until when that is, but, you know, I'd rather not have it be, you know, sad and grim and depressing. Hey, listen, I may suffer from depression, but I'll be damned if I let that stop me from doing this. Kind of think, I don't think I've ever been I do not think I've ever been so depressed that I've never wanted to do a video. Like, ever. I mean, the one video I've ever legitimately never wanted to make was... Oh crap, what day was it? Well, the video I did on December 23rd, on December 13th, 2021. That was the video that I never wanted to make. However, that really wasn't out of depression. It was because I really didn't want anyone to know about a secret that I had. One that I kept my entire life. That only on that day did I finally reveal. But that was not out of depression, so... Yeah, I have never actually I have never been so depressed. I mean, for those of you who don't know, I do suffer from depression. I do. Not like crippling depression or anything like that, but, you know, my emotions ride high sometimes. My point is, I've never actually been so depressed that I would never not do a video. Because, at the end of the day, by the way, a warning, a rhyme is coming your way in a second. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to have something to say. So, regarding One Piece episode 1070 being canceled, I'm not entirely upset. A little heartbroken that we're not getting it this Saturday, but I've been heartbroken on a much grander scale before, so this is nothing in comparison. And one thing I have noticed is, especially when it came to, like, the most recent fights in One Piece, you know, Sanji versus Queen, Zoro versus King, Law and Kid versus Big Mom. I noticed that they technically did show something, sort of like a highlight reel of everything up to that point, and then they got to the actual fight a week later. So, I could probably see One Piece doing something like that this upcoming Saturday. Sort of like a recap of everything that happened between Luffy versus Kaido. There'd be a lot of stuff to talk about, to be sure. But at the end of the day, when we got to those fights, they were some of the greatest fights I've ever seen. Not just in One Piece, but probably in all of anime that I personally have ever watched. And I've seen a lot of great anime fights in my day. You know, I saw Goku versus Frieza. I saw Naruto versus Sasuke, round 1 and round 2. I never watched Hunter x Hunter, but I have seen the fight between Netero and Meruem. That was a great fight too. All great fights in their own right. But in terms of both animation and scope, in terms of what's going on, like, every fight I've seen since probably before Memorial Day weekend has been nothing short of phenomenal. Again, Sanji versus Queen. You know, the reveal of it for Jamba. Zoro becoming the King of Hell after defeating King. Kid and Law versus Big Mom. I mean, that battle coming through full circle. Especially in the case of Law doing a technique after Rocinante. I mean, the original Corazon. Yeah. I've seen a lot of great fights lately. In fact, this last episode, the climax of it had really great animation too. It's just a shame now we gotta wait a week. But you know what? I think they need an extra week to really make sure episode 1070 really is as good as we all want it to be. The reason why I have mixed feelings about it all is the more I think about it, I'm like, okay, even if episode 1070 were to premiere this week, and there was absolutely no need to postpone it, the episode would have been fine on its own, this is the week we wouldn't be seeing Gear 5th anyway. Because chapter 1043 is the immediate aftermath of what happens when Kaido supposedly beats Luffy. You know, he kills a member of CP0, he turns into dragon form, goes down to the big conference hall where everyone's fighting, and he's like, listen, Luffy has fallen. If you surrender and join me, I promise I will let you live. So pretty much something akin to that, right? And meanwhile, as Momonosuke is moving Onigashima away from the capital city in the air, he hears the voice of Tsunisha saying the Joy Boy has returned. And then at the very final panel of chapter 1043, you see Luffy smiling, and it looks as if he's kind of melting. Now, I'm sure the anime is going to do that scene justice. Absolutely. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we wind up not seeing Gear 5th, but the shot of what's about to happen before Gear 5th arrives is like what makes the episode worth the wait. I can definitely see that happening. But it really is as I predicted on Sunday. We're not going to be seeing Gear 5th in episode 1070. Sad but true. Actually, come to think of it, try to do some math in my head, hold on. 54, 64, 20, 27. Sorry, I'm trying to think because it was it was chapter 1044 where Gear 5th was first written in the manga and published in the manga. And episode 1071 where we'll probably see Gear 5th anime for the very first time. Now, I just counted 27 because I'm like, well, for one thing, it's definitely a bad sign that there really is a lot more filler in One Piece than there is, the actual story. Which, I mean, I guess as someone who read through all of Naruto and only watched key scenes in the anime, waiting months and months for those scenes to be animated, I guess I really shouldn't be that surprised. Because at the end of the day, people gotta have their money. I get that. But I thought there was some sort of significant symbolism in having it be like a 27 episode chapter difference sort of thing in terms of, when Gear 5th is published in the manga and when Gear 5th is finally going to be animated. But apparently there isn't. I mean, actually, come to think of it, maybe at first I thought maybe it had to do with the number 56 because that's Luffy's number, but no. 56 and 27 aren't remotely mathematically related to each other. Neither one of them have the same factors, is what I mean. Gosh. I really don't know. I guess at this point, considering that the anime has been doing a great job of animating all of the key scenes, especially in the fight scenes, maybe the people behind the anime believe that we as an audience don't really care when we actually see the thing we want to see, so long as A, we actually get it, and B, it's done to the absolute highest justice it could ever hope to be at. Basically, it will look the best it could ever hope to look. Now, I'm holding out hope that's the case. I have faith that these next week and a half will fly right by. I hope it flies right by because Lord knows a lot of One Piece fans really want to see Gear 5th be animated. And I hope that between now and then, things become incredibly eventful to take my mind off what has just transpired in terms of episode 1070 being postponed. Well, there's a new episode of Hot Ones tomorrow, and there's going to be a new episode of Hot Ones next week, so that's 2 days. I'm at least going to be seeing either Barbie or Oppenheimer at some point, so that'll be something. I forget what movie. Oh, right, Haunted Mansion. That comes out next week. I mean, I don't really have much of an intention of seeing that movie, but, you know, if I have to, I will, I suppose. I have to see what happens. I'm watching Wild Out season 20. Watching Wild Out, that'll be fun. Although that's gonna happen on the same day as episode of Hot Ones, so I guess Thursdays from now on are gonna be jam packed for a little while. For me, anyway. Oh, it's gonna be Thursday's gonna be jam packed. Friday morning, that video is gonna be awesome, just because I'm gonna have so much to talk about. But yeah. Yeah, come to think about it, I can't really think. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to Live After 5. I'm going to try and go to Live After 5 this Friday. That'll be something. And if it's boring, worst case scenario, I'll just go to the Elbow Room for dinner. So I got options. And you know what? I'm glad that this week and a half long wait started on Hump Day. Once again, happy Hump Day, everybody. I hope you all like this video. If you did, like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I am very humble to make this video for all of you guys who are watching Enjoy for today. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. And remember, if you guys want to talk, the channel will be here to lend you an eel. Oh, eel? Good God. Sometimes I talk way too fast. I'll always be here to lend an ear, and I'll always have your back. Take care. Make good choices. 607 all day, baby.